The views expressed in this program do not necessarily reflect those of this station.
Welcome to Insights into Northeast Michigan, a WBKB News public affairs program. Insights deals with the issues affecting those in the community as well as Northeast Michigan and the state. And now, Insights into Northeast Michigan.
Welcome to Insights. I'm Sherry Stewart. Straight ahead, we'll take a look at Michigan's rising unemployment rate due to the coronavirus pandemic. The temporary closure of non-essential businesses has put many people out of work. The Michigan Unemployment Insurance Agency has announced a new schedule to help workers file for benefits. We'll take a look at that. And in the midst of all this, there are industries that are actually looking for workers. We will tell you where to find those employment opportunities. Joining me to discuss all of this is Colin Hoffmeyer with the Northeast Consortium of Michigan Works. Well, Colin, I want to thank you for joining me today to tackle this topic. We have a lot to get to, so let's just jump right in. I know one of the stats that we recently heard from the state of Michigan is that there were at least 127,000 people that had filed for unemployment in just one given time. So there are just some staggering numbers. Can you talk to that?
Yes, you're absolutely correct. For example, I know in the year 2019, there was 390,000 claims across the entire state. And I know for the month of March, the agency has received 400,000 claims. So in a matter of 30 days, they've exceeded the amount of claims for all of last year. So as you can imagine, the agency is stretched to beyond capacity.
So how are you managing that? Is everyone working from home? Are you considered essential? How are you managing that so that you can respond to the needs of Michiganders who are now out of work?
Yep. So Michigan Works, we're continuing our partnership with unemployment to a level that we've never done in order to support our partners at the state. At the unemployment agency, all hands are on deck, regardless of their role. They're on the phones. I know Michigan Works, we have been sending volunteer staff across the 10 agencies to aid in fielding phone calls for unemployment. We've also taken advantage of the technologies that we have similar to this to be able to field our phone calls from the safety of our homes. So that's what the Michigan Works Agency Northeast Michigan is currently doing. All of our staff are fielding phone calls, both for Michigan Works traffic specifically and assisting our unemployment partners in their traffic as well. And that started at the middle of last week, and we'll continue to do this until as long as we need to.
Okay, so to clarify, do you have staff that are physically in your Michigan Works offices, or is everyone working from home fielding those calls?
Right now, it's a hybrid. Eventually, the goal is that everybody will be able to be at home. So for the job seeker or those that are seeking benefits, you will dial just as you normally would. You would dial the Michigan Works number. If you need help, you dial the UIA number as you normally would. But those calls will eventually be routed to where both unemployment workers and the Michigan Works team will be able to field those from the safety of their homes.
Okay. Now let's talk about some of the benefits that people would traditionally get. I believe there's been some changes in that. So we have a headline here that increased benefits, unemployment benefits have increased for all unemployed workers, expanded to self-employed and low-wage workers. So can you tell us exactly what benefits the unemployed are eligible for as they do make those filings?
Yep, absolutely. So under the CARES Act that Governor Whitmer signed, whether you're a 1099 independent contractor, if you are a self-employed worker, a gig economy worker, or if you're a worker who in otherwise cases wouldn't have made enough quarterly to be eligible for benefits, you are now eligible. Where before you'd be eligible for 26 weeks of unemployment, that's now been increased to 39 weeks. Previously, you'd be eligible for either $88 a week all the way up to $355 a week, and that was a formula based on how much you made in your highest income quarter. Well, that's now been increased by $600 across the board. So that ranges from $682 up to $955 a week, depending on how much you made. That is universal across the board. I will say that for 1099 workers and self-employed, they are encouraging you to do your files on the phone rather than on the website, because they're still trying to build the website to give those options for those 1099 workers.
So you say on the phone, and we've heard there's been so many challenges with people actually being able to get through to talk to someone. So how is that working with them actually having to make that phone call?
So I'll give you some best advice that I've learned just from watching clients struggle and succeed on the phones and on the website. My best advice would to stick with filing over the phone, because there are so many questions that you'll stumble upon while you're filing this, whether it's from, am I really eligible, or what do I do if this happens? When you're on the phone, you can ask those questions, get those answers in real time. My best advice would be to, if you log on to michigan.gov/Leo, you'll actually be able to see that they're trying to schedule people's claims based on the first letter of their last name in an effort to spread out the claim, so it's not everybody's trying on one day, but to spread it out and help with those hold times. So I encourage everybody to check that website out and see what day would work best for you. It's not mandatory, but they are encouraging us to spread those out based on your last name to better serve everybody. My best advice would to try at those non-typical times. So if you're trying at lunch, you're going to have a rough time. Right when they open up at 8 a.m. on the weekdays or 9 a.m. on the weekend, you may have the best luck. That's what I've seen so far.
I actually saw a headline not too long ago where a young lady, and I know this was early on in this whole crisis, she tried to call in at 3 a.m. and still couldn't get in. So hopefully with this new scheduling, this recommended scheduling via the first or last name, hopefully that's bringing some relief. Do you know if that's actually working?
It's hard to say right now. I don't know how much of a dent it's made. I know locally from talking to customers that they don't see it having made a difference, but I do know that the calling during non-typical has helped. I do encourage folks to, when they call, one of the options are to leave your number and they'll call you back. I've seen people that have found that beneficial because they can still take care of business throughout their day without having to be anchored to that phone. The website has been crashing, pretty consistently. So you could try it on the website. If you do try it on the website, rest assured that your progress will be saved. But from what I've seen, the phone calls have been the best bet so far.
Let's circle back to talk about some of those benefits again. Are those weekly benefits that you were discussing earlier?
Yep, those are paid out weekly.
They are paid out weekly. Is it electronic? Are people getting paper checks? How are they actually receiving these funds?
So you have two options. You can do a direct deposit, so make sure you have your routing number and banking information when you file, or you can also elect to have a debit card. I caution you with the debit card because it will show up in the mail unmarked, so people have mistakenly thrown that away because it looks like junk mail. I would recommend using your bank information to get that direct deposit. It'll get to you about 3 or 4 days earlier.
Okay, that is good advice. So, Colin, we are going to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll talk about some more of those benefits that are available. And also, in the midst of this, we know that there are actually industries that are actually looking for workers. So we'll talk more about that so that people, if they want to change industries or look for other employment, we can direct them to where they can find that information. So we'll be right back with more insights right after this. Welcome back to Insights. We are continuing our conversation with Colin Hoffmeyer with the Northeast Consortium of Michigan Works. So, Colin, walk us through the process. If someone is unemployed and they go online and file for benefits, they actually get through the line or do online, what happens next? What's the next step in the process?
Yeah, that's a great question. The process has changed. So typically, if you're someone who knows how the process goes, it is a learning experience for everybody. So once you initially file your claim, you'll be assigned a date frame. So for example, if I filed last week, in 2 weeks, I'll have to log back in and I'll have to certify a week. So every week you'll have to go on and answer the question, did you go back to work this week? Were you still unemployed for this week? Did you earn any income during this week? Because that will be thrown into the formula of how much you get paid that week. So certainly if you are working part-time or 1 day a week, you're still eligible for unemployment. Potentially, it would just perhaps be less if you didn't get any income for that week. It's very important to make sure you're checking your email after you file your claim. Literally every single day you want to check that, because if there's any issues, discrepancies, any errors on their end or on your end, they will let you know via email. And the quicker you get notified of that and quicker you fix it, the quicker you're going to get your money in your bank account. So once you file, make sure your email's correct and make sure you're checking it daily. and then you'll have to certify each week that you are claiming benefits. You no longer have to go to the Michigan Works office. You don't have to call us. You don't have to do anything with us. That was a part that is usually required, but has been taken off in the effort to get that money to our customers as soon as possible.
Okay, so just to clarify, so we can work part-time. So if you do work part-time, you can still claim benefits, but that may reduce the amount of monies that you receive. Is that correct?
Yeah, so once you're able to file online or over the phone, you no longer have to go to the Michigan Works office. You're able to just kind of stand by, make sure there's no errors. So it's important to check your email after you file every day, because the sooner you are able to receive notification of a discrepancy and error, the sooner you can fix it and the sooner you can get that money into your account. I do encourage folks to try to certify their weeks as soon as possible during the week that you're supposed to, just to leave some leeway for any errors or hold times that you may run into.
And so, again, the importance of checking your email every day to make sure that if you have any discrepancies, you can get those cleared away right away, so that you definitely don't want to hold up your benefits that are coming to you.
Absolutely. The sooner you can respond to unemployment and fix whatever errors they found, the sooner they can resolve it and get that money into your account.
Now, when are those funds dispersed? Is it every Friday? Is it every Monday? What can people be expecting? Say they've already gone through the process and they are just now waiting to receive some type of income, financial benefit. What day is that going to be delivered to their account, or if they're getting a paper check? What does that look like?
Yeah, so if you take advantage of the direct deposit, which I strongly advise, it does vary a little bit on your financial institution. But for what I've seen, if you file and then the next week you're supposed to certify your week and reporting income if you've had, and if you've done all that, typically it's about 48 hours from the time that you say, yep, my week's been certified, I was in fact employed, I didn't get any income. About 2 days you could expect that. If it's paper, again, you could be waiting 3 to 5 days. That's why I encourage the direct deposit. But from what I've seen, it's about 48 hours. Could be a little bit more with whatever your institution you use. But from what I've seen, it's 2 days.
So it's just not everybody is on I'm getting a direct deposit every Thursday or every Friday. It's just basically at the time your I guess calendar starts after you've completed the filing, whatever the process is or whatever you've had to do.
Yeah, it does make it hard for budgeting because it's never on a consistent day of the week or anything like that. But like I said, the sooner that you're able to certify during the window that you're allowed to certify, the quicker things will go.
Okay, absolutely, absolutely. Now, again, are there any other websites that you want to give for people to go ahead and file? What is that website again?
Michigan.gov/coronavirus. That one's going to be real helpful if you have any questions about what are my rights, what are my benefits, what is the governor's latest direction. Michigan.gov/Leo is going to be able to get you to the unemployment segment of the state's website. Again, lots of good FAQs there as well. And then keep in mind, mitalent.org. That's going to be where you're going to see all the available opportunities, career type jobs, gig jobs, whatever it is you're seeking, you'll be able to find those right here locally in Northeast Michigan. And then keep in mind, you can always call your local Michigan Works office and talk to a business solutions professional, and we can give you more details about local opportunities.
Okay, and I want to circle back just for a minute, just to clarify, you are able to work, I guess, part-time and then still receive your unemployment benefit, but that benefit for that certification period, it may be reduced based off of what you made during your time of unemployment. Is that correct?
Absolutely, it is. I think they termed it as underemployment. So nothing's guaranteed. It goes into the formula that they use from your wage record. But if you are getting income, you can still be eligible for unemployment to help supplement. Maybe you're making less than you used to. Unemployment can help maybe make up that difference in some way. So if you're working, don't feel like you're not eligible. I encourage you to check it out.
Okay, absolutely, absolutely. Anything else before we go to break here?
No, I encourage folks to stay safe. Stay on that coronavirus page that I gave you, the michigan.gov/coronavirus. If you're not able to watch the governor's press conferences, that'll give you a good idea of what direction she put out. And again, if you're ever in doubt, call the Michigan Works office. We can be that convener in between the unemployment agency, Michigan Works, and businesses. We can get you to the right place when in doubt.
Absolutely. Well, we will have more to talk about when we come back. We're talking to Colin Hoffmeyer with the Northeast Consortium of Michigan Works. We have more of Insights, but we'll be right back after this message. Welcome back to Insights. Joining me today is Colin Hoffmeyer with the Northeast Consortium of Michigan Works. Talking about the just extraordinary increase of filers looking for unemployment benefits. And there's some new information in terms of how and when you should file so that you don't end up dealing with a website that is crashing. So Colin, can you tell us what that recommended schedule is for people that are actually going online to file for unemployment benefits?
Yes, absolutely. So if your last name begins with A through L and you're wishing to file online, they're suggesting that you file those claims on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And again, that's for online. If your last name is A through L and you're wishing to file over the phone, they're encouraging you to call on Mondays and Wednesdays. If your last name is M through Z and you wish to file online, they're encouraging you to file on Sundays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays. If you'd like to file over the phone and your last name is M through Z, they're encouraging you to do so on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And again, you can see that schedule at michigan.gov/Leo.
Okay, that's very important to know. And hopefully that alleviates some of the pressure on the system, because I can only imagine the frustration of people that are looking to file for benefits so that they can have some type of income coming in, only to be left on hold, those stories, or to not even be able to get through because of the website crashing.
Yes, absolutely. And rest assured that if you do get through, I think right now it's 2 weeks after your date, you're still going to be fine. You will get retro paid for everything that you're owed, but yeah, it's absolutely necessary that they get those funds as soon as possible.
Absolutely. Okay. And so before the break, we were mentioning that there are actually industries that are, even in the midst of all of this, that are actually looking for workers. And for what we have come across, we actually ran a story not too long ago, WBKB, is that there are job opportunities, though, in healthcare, logistics, manufacturing, and agribusiness. Those industries are actually looking for workers. Can you tell us a little bit more about that and where people can go if they're looking to find employment in those areas, in those industries?
Yeah, absolutely. As you know, there are many industries and businesses right here in Northeast Michigan that are still deemed essential, and they need people now more than ever, especially as this virus makes its way up here. They do need people. Healthcare, but even retail. Retail, as in Walmart's, the Myers, the Lowe's, Home Depots, these chain stores, they need people, and even some are actually offering some incentives for those that are willing to continue to work during this critical time right now. A good resource if you want to look at opportunities close to home. Pure Michigan, mitalent.org. It's the Pure Michigan Talent Connect website. Again, that's mitalent.org. At the very top of the page, there's a banner that are highlighting all the opportunities that are available right here, right now. And from that website, you can go individually to those companies' websites and fill out applications. And when in doubt, I encourage you to call Michigan Works. Give us a call, and we'll be able to help you, to guide you to opportunities based on your interests and your skills. Yeah, absolutely. So if you call the Michigan Works office, you will be answered by local Michigan Works staff, and we'll direct you to a business solutions staff that works directly with the companies in the county that you reside in. There shouldn't be a hold time at all. Our calls ring right to our cell phones, regardless if we're in the office or at home. Most of our employers right now, they are taking advantage of Skype, Zoom, any type of video conferencing capabilities. And if that's something that a company or a job seeker is interested in taking advantage of, if they don't feel comfortable going out for an interview, then we can set that up on behalf of the employer and the job seeker through the technologies that we have.
Okay, that's really important to know, because my next question was going to be, given all of the guidelines for social distancing and trying to keep ourselves safe and healthy as we maneuver this, how would you even participate in an interview if somebody was looking to hire?
Yep, that's the best way we found to do it. We routinely reach out to employers and offer the ability to use our technology to interact with job seekers, almost like a virtual job fair in a sense. We can host an employer for 2 days a week, 1 day a week, or however much they want to do it, and we can bring in job seekers if they would like to have conversations with them virtually. It's something that we're very fortunate to be able to do, and I think going forward, that's what we're going to have to rely on.
And I was going to ask you about that too. I know that unfortunately, because of this, we did receive notice that you had to cancel some of your job fairs that you had scheduled for last month and this month, of course. So are you looking to do more virtual job fairs? Is that something that you will be doing more of, you think, even as we come out of this eventually?
Yeah, absolutely. It was funny this morning. I was just thinking, what a silver lining we found is because of the situation, we're really forced to dive into what our technology can do. And I think even after this, we may help overcome the geographical barrier that we run into in northern Michigan and utilize this going forward more so to conduct some of our job seeker and employer conversations. Our job fairs, we did have to cancel, but we are looking at rescheduling those maybe in the fall if things continue to improve by then. But certainly, if not, we'll take advantage of the technology we have. So it's starting out slow. We're still trying to work out the kinks and the security aspect of using technology like this, but I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can do with this.
I'm glad to see that we're all able to use technology for the good, certainly in this circumstance. And we only have a couple more minutes here, but any thoughts on, I guess, industries that people should maybe want to really consider as we move forward and go out of this? Anything in your mind where you see that there may be a spike in employment opportunities? We did just mention a few, but what are your thoughts going forward?
Well, we have seen an influx in companies in our area, especially in manufacturing, that have taken advantage of the tools at hand, and they're beginning to manufacture products, PPE for healthcare workers, equipment for testing kits. They're really able to retool what they currently do in the fight against the coronavirus. So I encourage you to keep an eye out on, again, use the MI Talent, use Indeed.com, call the Michigan Works office, because manufacturing is still something that's going to be hiring going forward, especially as companies begin to retool to contribute to the coronavirus situation. But certainly take a look at the retail stores nearby. I know a lot of companies are offering incentives and a great amount of flexibility just to get a helping hand. So I would not rule anything out. Obviously, healthcare is a critical need right now. CNAs, many of these positions, you don't need a certification. You can go without being certified. Patient transportation assistance, call center help. I encourage you to check out their websites directly, whether it be the Alpena Hospital or Petoskey or McLaren, Northern Michigan, or wherever. Check their websites because I know they're really not turning anybody away right now. They need help.
Good to know. Good to know. And any other websites that you want to add before we close out?
Well, the one last one I would share that seems to have really benefited people is michigan.gov/coronavirus. Not only will you be able to see all the unemployment information that I just discussed, but you'll also be able to see a version of the governor's stay-at-home order in a way that's very easy to understand. It's got an FAQ page on there. It's good stuff. And typically, whenever the governor gives her press conferences, kind of a transcript of that will be uploaded onto this page as well. And that's michigan.gov/coronavirus. It's a good one to keep handy.
Absolutely. Good to know. Well, we want to thank you, Colin, for joining us today and sharing this important information about unemployment benefits and job opportunities and maneuvering forward. Have a great day.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Stay safe.
Okay, you too. Well, that's all of Insights this week. If you have a question, comment, or story idea, you can email us at news@wbkb11.com. I'm Sherry Stewart. Thank you for watching.
Insights into Northeast Michigan is produced by WBKB News. If you have any comments, suggestions, or topics you would like to see on a future show, please email WBKB News. This has been a production of Thunder Bay Broadcasting Corporation. All rights reserved.